Ni hao, pessoas que não foram humilhadas na internet essa semana. Tudo bem com vocês? A entrevista desse, acho que ele é um comediante egípcio, Bassem Youssef, ficou, assim, explodiu na internet, porque ele cagou na cabeça desse britânico. Assim, eu coloquei a legenda automática aqui do YouTube, que às vezes não vai funcionar 100%, mas dá para entender bem.
Joining me now to discuss the conflict in Israel and Gaza is a TV host and satirist, Bassem Youssef. Bassem, it's great to have you back on the program. I wish it was under different circumstances. First of all, what is your reaction to what happened on October the 7th?
Oh, it was terrible, of course. I mean, we kind of get our news kind of also secondhand because, you know, my wife's family, they live in Gaza. They have cousins and uncles there. And their house also was bombed. We haven't been able to communicate with them for the past 3 days. Communication are lost. So we don't know actually what is the how are they doing. But you know, we're used to that. I mean, it's just like it's very repetitive. We're used to that. We're used to them being bombed every time and moving from one place to the other. You know, it's just like those Palestinians. They're very dramatic. Israel killing us. But they never die. I mean, they always come back. You know,
É engraçado, é triste, mas é engraçado porque o cara é um comediante, né? Mas é bem isso aí mesmo, né? Eu vi um vídeo de um palestino falando isso. Israel pode continuar bombardeando a gente vai continuar aqui. A gente vai continuar voltando.
They're very difficult to kill, very difficult people to kill. I know because I'm married to one. I tried many times, couldn't kill her.
I mean, there's a dark humor there, and I understand why. Because
no, it's not dark humor. I try to get to her every time, but she uses our kids as human shields. I can never take her out.
Que Israel fica acusando o Hamas de usar civis como escudo humano, e é por isso que acontece esses efeitos colaterais que eles chamam, né, quando eles matam civis. Não, a gente estava tentando acertar um esconderijo do Hamas debaixo de uma mesquita, e aí matou ali umas centenas de civis que eram escudos humanos, né? E aí é só efeito colateral da guerra.
Again, I understand the humor, but to be serious, Bassem, about this, tonight there is...
I will be serious. Now, I will be serious. I was watching your interview with Ben Shapiro, and I will tell you one thing.
Nossa, mano, Ben Shapiro é o esgoto do fascismo.
I think that Ben Shapiro is one of the smartest people who ever walked this earth. He's very, very smart. I follow him, and I believe everything he says. And when he came on your show, his solution was, and I quote, his solution was that the solution for this is for Israel to annex Gaza and to kill as many son of bitches as possible to make sure that this will never happen again. And anyone who called for a ceasefire will be a terrorist sympathizer. So God forbid, I don't want to be labeled as a terrorist sympathizer. So I agree with Ben Shapiro. I think we should kill as many son of bitches as possible.
Well, let me,
so
okay,
far,
but Bassem, let me...
so far, 3,500 people were killed, including 5,000 son of bitches in the bombing of the Baptist hospital.
5.000 não, 500, né? Incluindo aí 1.700 crianças até agora.
As we speak right now, 1/3 of those 3,500 were children. So my question to Ben Shapiro is, how many more son of bitches do we need to kill so Ben Shapiro is happy?
Okay,
because it changes
Bassem,
from 1 year.
It
changes from one. I'm sorry that. Please, I'm really at a disadvantage here. I'm looking at a camera. I don't see you. I can hear you on my ears.
The reason I'm interrupting
so
is I think you might be.
I
think you're conflating different interviews with Ben Shapiro. He didn't use the phrase "sons of bitches."
Tá. Ele não chamou os caras, né? Não xingou os caras de filho da, né? Não. Assim, tudo bem. Defender a morte deles, o extermínio, tudo certo. Que não pode. Não, pô, ele não usou essa expressão de chamar eles de filho da, né, qualquer coisa.
Let me play to you what he actually said on my
show. He did. Go back to your interview.
No, he didn't. That was another interview. But let me play what he said to me here.
Foi em outra entrevista. Nossa, cara. Pô, colonizador, aí tu me quebra, né?
Well, frankly, I don't believe in proportionate response to terrorism.
Olha pra cara desse aí pagar lanche. Imagina, esse rapaz no colégio, mano. Quanto que esse rapaz não sofreu?
I believe that the way that you stop terrorism is with wildly disproportionate response. That doesn't mean in terms of targeting civilians. It means in terms of killing as many terrorists as humanly possible and allowing...
porque essa é a política dos Estados Unidos, né? Só ver o que eles fizeram no Afeganistão, sendo que não tinha um afegão nos ataques do 11 de setembro.
them to dictate the terms of engagement by hiding behind civilians in areas that they're supposedly responsible for means that the only option for Israel is to surrender to Hamas's hatred of its own citizens. Its willingness to use its own children as human shields. No country worth its salt could ever do that.
Pô. Pô, YouTube, meter propaganda no meio do vídeo.
Now that is substantively different to what you said he said, right? He's talking there
but
specifically about
I
Hamas
agree
terrorists.
with him. I agree with him. The thing is, the question is, what is a proportionate response? Because it has been different from one tier
Na
to
verdade, ele fala uma resposta desproporcional, né? Que é matar todo mundo que puder.
the other. So if you look to this graph, for example, this is the death of Israeli and Palestinians, and it's changing from 1 year to year. It's like fluctuating like crypto. So my question is today, what is the going rate today for human life? I mean, 2014 was a great year for Ben Shapiro. 88 Israelis were died, and there was 2,329 Palestinians killed on the other side. That is one Israeli for 27 Palestinians. That is a very good exchange rate. What I'm saying is, what is the exchange rate for today? So you guys will be happy. That's my question.
Well, it's not me, guys. I'm not on either side.
Não. Sim, a gente já sabe, né? Que neutro mesmo, só sabonete de bebê. Quando vocês veem um vídeo de alguém, principalmente no Brasil, que esses analistas de geopolítica gostam muito de falar isso, né? A gente tem que deixar a ideologia de lado, a gente tem que colocar as emoções de lado e falar sem ideologia. A gente já sabe que o cara tá de quem lado que ele tá, né? Porque isso não existe. Todo mundo tem lado, todo mundo tem ideologia. Todo mundo. Neutro é só sabonete de bebê.
You, like when I say you guys, I say like the people on the other side of that. I know that you don't think like that, Pierce. You're one of the good guys.
Bicho, cara,
but let me tell you something. I mean, the reason that I'm using this is that, I mean, I can't remember what happened in 2014, and there was no music festival, but there must be something. I mean, they must do something. It is their fault. It has to be something. I mean, in 2018, 300 Palestinians died. Who's counting? You know?
Quem tá contando?
So the thing is, what my question is, let's find what is the exchange rate for human life today so we expect the future death of Palestinians and we'll be happy to it.
My response to that would be this, Bassem. I've thought carefully about this because I think it's very tricky for people like me to immerse ourselves into a conflict where we're not directly involved.
Assim, eu presumo que eu não conheço esse cara, né, esse Piers Morgan, mas pelo sotaque dele, pela cara de bolacha, eu acredito que ele é britânico. E aí ele falar que ele não está diretamente envolvido é ser muito arrombado, né? Porque isso aí começou tudo por causa dos britânicos, né? É onde eles botaram a mão nesse mundo, virou um inferno.
And I thought carefully about what I feel about this. I feel that the scale of what Hamas did on October the 7th supersedes anything else I've seen in this conflict, really ever.
Claro, né? Porque quem está morrendo foram israelenses, mas quando morreram 3.200, não sei quantos palestinos, como ele mostrou ali, é tudo certo, né? Como ele falou, quem está contando?
The savagery, the butchery, the slaughter of 1,300 people, the shooting of babies, the 100%. Kidnapping of grandmas and so on. So
nossa, assim, o suco do fake news, né? O negócio dos bebês é mentira. E esse cara é tão ridículo, esse britânico, que, pô, o cara ali, o Bassem, mostrou para ele números, né? Muito maiores do que 1.300. Claro que 1.300 pessoas morrerem é uma coisa horrível. Mas ele está dizendo que isso é pior do que todos aí as dezenas de milhares de palestinos mortos nos últimos anos.
If we can agree on that, which I think is inarguable, then the question then becomes, again, about proportion. I don't disagree that there's been a lot of bad stuff on both sides going back historically for decades.
Tá vendo? O cara não consegue falar, admitir que Israel faz alguma parada ruim. Ele tem que dizer, não, os dois lados estão errados. Ele não consegue dizer assim, Israel fez coisas erradas, matou gente que não deveria. Ele não consegue, né?
If we agree that this was on a different level altogether,
tá vendo?
quite deliberately by Hamas, designed to provoke. No, here's my question. Let me ask you a question. And the question, because you raised it earlier about proportion. I honestly don't know what the proportionate response is. I honestly don't. I don't. I've been watching the airstrikes this week thinking...
So what's your question?
Well, I would ask you, if you were Israel, what would you...
If I was Israel.
If you were Israel and that had happened to you, what would you think would be the appropriate way for the country to respond?
Nossa, cara, que pergunta babaca. Se você fosse Israel, a esposa do cara é palestina e tem família lá, cara, tu acha que ele espera que... Quando Israel ataca, tu acha que eles esperam o quê?
I would do exactly like Israel did, kill as many people as possible since the world is letting me do it. I mean,
Claro.
I can do it because
O mundo deixa, cara.
I can.
O mundo
you know?
deixa.
But the thing is, you know what? I agree with you. And you know what? I'm going to be even ahead of you because I see the question coming. Do you condemn Hamas for the atrocity? Yes, I condemn Hamas. I condemn Hamas. I condemn Hamas is the source of all evil. They're a reason for everything. And you know what? Let's, for a minute, imagine a world without Hamas.
Right.
Quem criou Hamas, né? Como o João Carvalho explica lá no vídeo dele, muito bem explicado, né? Todo o patrocínio de Israel para o Hamas financeiro, né? Armando o Hamas para combater a organização palestina, para combater o Fatah, para manter eles divididos.
What will this word look like? Let's give this word a name, and let's name this word the West Bank. Hamas has absolutely no control in the West Bank, and since the beginning of this year, only through August, 37 Palestinian kids were killed. No music festival, no paragliding,
No Hamas.
No Hamas. Since the occupation of the West Bank, 7,000 Palestinians were killed. No music festival, no paragliding, no Hamas. I can go on and on and on and on.
No, but you don't need to, because in a way you're preaching to the choir. I've followed.
Nossa, cara, que bicho arrombado, você tá pregando pro coro. Pô, tu fez uma pergunta pro cara, né? Se você fosse Israel, como seria a sua resposta? Ele falou, pô, beleza, eu concordo com Israel, né? O que tá fazendo. Cara, eu acho que ele foi irônico. E aí ele coloca uma outra reflexão. E se não tivesse o Hamas, como seria? Pô, realmente, na Cisjordânia não tem Hamas. E aí? Israel continua matando gente sem motivo.
This crisis.
Oh no, you're not pretty sure. So the thing is, like,
Well, in the
because
sense that I know
saying,
that what you're saying has validity. Of course,
Piers. By the way, Piers.
Piers.
I am at a disadvantage here. I can hear you. I cannot see you. I am in a claustrophobic room, and so please cut me some slack and don't interrupt me and interrupt my points.
Sure.
So because this has to be fair.
Understand.
Because if you want to only hear your opinion, I can just condemn Hamas and go home. I can do that.
Condenar o presunto.
So
Condenar o presunto. Pô, Google, vocês podem fazer um trabalho melhor, né? Porque o YouTube entendeu o ham como presunto em vez de Hamas, né?
want to do that, or do you have a much more nuanced conversation?
No, I absolutely want to have a nuanced conversation. I wasn't aware I was interrupting you. I thought I was letting you speak.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So I would say I really applaud Israel for doing one thing that no military force in the world does. Because I heard Ben Shapiro and I heard Ron DeSantis, and they said...
Ron DeSantis é um político dos Estados Unidos. Assim, fascismo, se procurar foto de fascista na internet, deve achar Ben Shapiro, Ron DeSantis, essa galera aí. É só os lixo humanos.
They said Israel is the only military force in the world that warns civilians before bombing them. I mean, how fucking cute.
Ai, cara. E teve aquele babaca, acho que é o João Pinheiro, né? Teve um desses brasileiros liberal babaca aí falando a mesma coisa, né? Não, porque Israel avisa as pessoas, Israel dá tempo das pessoas saírem para poder bombardear. Nossa, que legal, hein? Como é legal o exército de Israel, como é humano, né?
That is so nice of them. Because with this logic, if Russian troops started warning Ukrainians before bombing their houses, we're cool with Putin, right? I mean, okay, Habibi, you have warned them, go invade, it's fine, you have done your job.
É porque é bem nessa, né? A Ucrânia está resistindo. Na ideia que se propaga na mídia, a Ucrânia está resistindo à invasão russa. Israel está se defendendo de ataques palestinos.
I mean, the thing is, and I understand, and I also heard Ben Shapiro talking about human shield. So you remember my wife's family, they live in Gaza. So I asked them, I told them, when Israel give you the nice warning, the cute warning, does Hamas force you to stay in your home so you can be bombed and use as human shield? You know what, Hassan here, my wife's cousin, he's a loser. You know? He told me, you know, when I asked him, does that happen? He told me, no. The lying son of a bitch lied to me. I told him, you don't understand. Ben Shapiro and Ron DeSantis keep saying that Israel warned you and Hamas asked you to stay put. So I told you, he's a loser. He never kept a job. He even failed in all of the interviews to become like a human shield.
O cara não passou nas entrevistas para ser escudo humano pro Hamas.
Believe Ben Shapiro.
Let me ask you this,
So
Bassem.
let's go with that. No. Let me ask you
At some
this.
point, I must be able to ask you questions. It's not a monologue for you, Bassem.
If we agree that for the 14,000 casualties, I mean, who's counting, are human shield, does that mean that every single one of those civilians was standing, obscuring a military target behind them? Because that's a lot of weapons. I mean,
Esse mostra o nível do ridículo do argumento do britânico ali no começo, dizendo não, porque a gente tem que concordar que isso aqui cruzou os limites, esse ataque do Hamas cruzou todos os limites. 14 mil palestinos mortos, que limite que isso cruza?
Hamas is packing.
No, of course it doesn't. And look,
It doesn't, so there's some collateral damage. Lots of collateral damage.
Yes.
It's
Tá
fine.
vendo?
Man. You kill,
assim como eles chamam a morte de civis. Danos colaterais. Quando é do lado palestino, é danos colaterais. Quando é do lado de Israel, é carnificina.
some to save some and then kill some more. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
let me ask you this. Again, it comes back to proportionate response. When the world decided it had to get rid of ISIS because of the appalling butchery they were carrying out,
Quem criou o ISIS, né?
it did so by also killing, very sadly, a lot of civilians along the way by doing airstrikes against places which
But killing
held
civilians are
ISIS
inevitable.
fighters.
You
So
said that in the beginning.
My point is,
it's inevitable.
Yeah, but once
It's inevitable.
Israel has decided.
E aí tá a mídia toda fazendo essa comparação de Hamas e ISIS, né? Sendo que não são nem próximos.
That they want to get rid of Hamas, and Hamas is embedded with civilian population. I'm very concerned about what's going to happen next. I've written a column tonight saying I remember the Iraq
And the
War,
thing
which
is,
I opposed, right? I remember all this. So my question for you is,
I know.
what would you
know.
think would be an appropriate response by Israel to what happened?
These are years of disproportionate responses of Israel.
Right.
Did it solve the solution? Did it solve the problem? Did it work
Justamente,
before,
não
so it
resolveu
will-
antes,
or
cara.
What will be the surprise this time? What will be the twist that will make this?
Teve um ministro, não sei se foi o ministro da Defesa de Israel, falando que a solução é os palestinos saírem e acampar no deserto lá, acho que no deserto de Sinai, e a gente mata os caras da Hamas e depois o palestino pode voltar. Confia, né?
Work this time? What will be different this time? Seriously, I mean, like, this is only the last 15 years. I mean, because it's too many papers. I just got this. But how will this be different? And the thing is, I am so glad in the introduction that you mentioned the Iraq War. I applaud you, Pierce, for saying that, because you were honest about
Claro.
it. You said that spreading lies, like WMDs, made people look at those people as less of humans, and they would accept the death of 1 million Iraqi, whether by...
Teve a filha de um embaixador, agora não me lembro de qual país, que foi discursar, acho que na ONU, né? Falando que viu iraquianos tirando crianças de incubadoras e matando os bebês da incubadora. E era tudo mentira. É a mesma coisa essa história dos bebês da guerra. Esse negócio de bebê, assim, de matar bebês, decapitar e tocar fogo, isso é recorrente para desumanizar as pessoas do outro lado, que foi o que o governo do Israel fez, dizendo que eles não são humanos, que eles são como animais, que têm que ser tratados como animais. É a mesma coisa que aconteceu no Iraque. 1 milhão de mortos, sendo 100 mil crianças. 100 mil crianças foram mortas no Iraque. E isso não causa o mesmo clamor que uma fake news de 40 crianças israelenses mortas.
Sanctions or by invasion, right? You are a good man. This is amazing. And you know what is similar? Is when you spread the lies of 40 decapitated babies, although it was refuted. So what happens when people hear that, killing babies is horrible. But when you say decapitated 40 babies, you are planting a certain image.
Well, who has said that?
Tu falou isso.
Who has
Tu falou isso.
Who has said 40
Who has said that?
Who has said that?
40
Ele
decapitated.
disse isso.
Who has said
You
that?
have
Ele disse isso.
No, I haven't.
What?
I've
Ele
never
disse
said that.
isso.
You haven't
É
said...
que ele não usa a palavra decapitado, ele usa uma palavra diferente, né? Beheaded, que no fim é a mesma coisa, né? Tirou a cabeça da criança. Tem um vídeo no Twitter que eu não consegui achar, mas eu vi rolando, ele fala literalmente beheaded, 40 bebês beheaded.
On your show, 40 decapitated
No.
babies?
Disse sim.
Ben Shapiro didn't say?
Ben Shapiro não sei.
Ron DeSantis didn't say?
Mas esse cara disse.
No, they
Nobody
haven't.
said it?
No.
Oh, okay, maybe I am wrong. Decapitated. Here's the
you're wrong.
thing.
I've never said
the
that.
Thing,
Como é que é o nome do cara? Pierce aqui?
No, you're wrong. But the thing is, when Iraq, but the thing is, the same thing is happening in Iraq. Ben Shapiro once tweeted, not even about Gaza, about the West Bank, when Israel continued
Esse eu acho
to build the illegal settlement. He said, 2017, Israel likes to build things, and Arabs, not Palestine, not Hamas, Arabs like to bomb crap and live in open sewage.
Yeah, I thought that was very ill-advised thing to say.
The Israeli defense minister, he said, those are human animals. And the thing is, Ben Shapiro should know better because, you know, long before the Holocaust, before Jewish people were thrown in the gas chambers, the Nazi propaganda called them rats. Now, as a human being, I will never accept that another human being being thrown into a gas chamber, but a rat, kill 10. Kill 1,000, 3,500. They are son of a bitch. They are human animals who live in open sewage and decapitate babies. And because of that propaganda, Mr. Morgan, that guy in Illinois, the 71 years old guy, he killed, stabbing the 6-year-old Palestinian kid in Illinois 26 times. And he used to play with him. They used to be friends. But he went in, marching into their apartment, stabbing his mother and killing him, shouting.
A gente viu acontecer a mesma coisa pós 11 de setembro. A mesma coisa. A islamofobia, as pessoas matando muçulmanos nos Estados Unidos. Matavam Sikhs, que são que acho que é uma religião indiana, alguma coisa assim, que é a galera que usa turbante mesmo, né? Achando que eles eram muçulmanos.
All Muslims could die.
Yeah.
It took you
Achei link
8
aqui,
years to change one word from Jewish to Muslim.
Vamos ver.
You are planting a certain image
Well, who
with
has
a
said
certain
that?
trigger in people's mind.
Who has said that? Who has said 40
Who has said that?
Who
You
has
have
said
said
that?
40 decapitated.
Who has said
you
that?
You have repeat.
No, I haven't.
What?
I've never said that.
You haven't said on your show 40 decapitated
No.
babies?
I choked up earlier reading this new revelation about 40 babies being killed.
Oh my God.
And some of them
Yeah.
being beheaded. And
I
I was
see.
like, how can any human being do that to a baby? Never.
Ben Shapiro.
Mentiroso.
And then you transferred
Mentiroso,
your
cara.
guilt to us and took away our land.
Bassem, let me ask you a question.
That deal sucks, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask
How
him.
do we get from where we are now to peace?
Well, first
Difícil, né,
of all,
cara?
you need to change the perception.
Claro.
Nikki Haley, the American presidential candidate,
Nossa, essa mulher... Nossa senhora, mano. Ela é anti-China até o último fio de cabelo.
said, we are in Israel in this because it's a fight between evil, good and evil. Now, if you already decided someone is good, he can do no evil. And if you decided someone is evil, it's good to kill them. Killing them is good. You see?
E aí os Estados Unidos sendo o bom, eles podem fazer o que eles quiserem para acabar com o mal, porque é essa lógica de tudo vale para poder acabar com o mal.
And the thing is, it is not like something new. I mean, I look at history and I see, I'm sorry to say that, but Westerners has always dealt like this with indigenous people.
Eu vou ter que recomendar isso aqui, sei lá quantas vezes. Leiam esse livro, Orientalismo, do Eduardo Said, que é como o Oriente criou a imagem, como o Ocidente criou a imagem que a gente tem de Oriente. Do Oriente Médio, do Oriente aqui da Ásia, e também de África, América Latina, como eles criam isso aí e tratam esses povos como povos inferiores.
You first treated them like savages, you know, Native American, First Nation, Aboriginal. They're savages. Kill all the savages. And then when they're almost extinct, you start feeling sorry for them, you know, like animals. So maybe the solution is that we kill as many Palestinians as possible so the few of them that remains do not bother you. And maybe Netanyahu, when he lives for another 100 years, he'll become a tree hugger.
Let me just challenge
Abraçador de árvore.
on this.
And he will campaign for preserving the free
You keep talking about Westerners like me. Okay, so let me return the favor, okay? Hamas is dedicated to the complete eradication of Jewish people.
Da onde isso, né? Propaganda do exército israelense.
I am not the spokesman for Hamas.
Nossa,
eu
não sou porta-voz da Hamas, cara.
Why do you keep,
I'm not saying you are.
Spokesman.
You're talking
I
to me.
fucking hate them.
Bassem,
Fuck Hamas.
Fuck Hamas.
Hamas.
No,
Are you happy?
You're missing my point. You're talking in a generalized way about people in the West who always...
Porque é assim que o Ocidente, né, se trata, né? Nós, o Ocidente, nós, o mundo livre, né?
talk about Arabs as savages. I don't.
No. I'm talking
I never
about
have.
America. About
I actually
Western
led the
media. I'm talking
campaign.
about West.
I led the media campaign in this
when-
country against the Iraq War. Okay, so I don't
You
see.
you.
I don't
you
see
are one
people
of
in the
good
Middle
ones,
East as
Piers.
savages.
You
But what
are
I would
one
say
of
is,
the good ones.
But what I would say is,
talking about you. You're great.
no, it's not about me
You're
being great.
amazing.
It's
We
about,
love you.
It's
Well,
about,
we love
it's
you.
about
Gente ama.
the way Hamas behaved on October the 7th was like savages, like a pack of savages. It was the worst atrocity against Jewish people since
Yes.
the Holocaust. There has to be,
Of course.
there has to be a response. And my
They
question
should be
for you
eradicated.
is, my
They
question
should
for
be
you is,
killed until the last
notwithstanding
one
the
of
history,
them.
Bassem, what is the proportionate response?
É o que ele falou, cara. Não, esse britânico, ele fica tentando arrumar uma resposta para uma parada que não tem, cara. Porque Israel é um estado terrorista, fascista, colonizador, que mata sem motivo. Né? Como ele disse, pô, o que aconteceu em 2014 que mais de 3 mil palestinos foram mortos? Não teve uma rave, né? Não teve os caras voando de paraglider e matando. E mesmo assim, teve 3 mil palestinos mortos. E agora vocês vão matar quantos? Todo mundo, sabe?
But I don't know. But there's no Hamas in the West Bank, and they're
Claro.
still dying there. So what's your excuse?
Claro.
I don't have any excuse.
Claro que não tem.
Okay. What's your explanation? Sorry. My earpiece went down.
I listen, I don't make any pretense that this hasn't been a massive problem.
Okay.
Um grande problema, né?
Palestine and Israel
I-
going back to the mid-40s. We all know this, right?
I'm
É, claro, só grande problema entre Israel e Palestina. Não é um massacre, não é um genocídio, não é um apartheid, né? O que esperar dos britânicos? Né?
Yeah, Piers, listen. I'm not saying that you're making excuse, but if you are adopting a certain point of view, you have to at least defend
Claro.
it. I'm telling you, there is no Hamas in the West Bank. What is the excuse? Not your excuse. What is the excuse to kill those people?
Well,
tá
listen,
vendo?
this question of proportionality is one that...
No. Answer my question. I've been answering your question. You answer mine.
It's actually not my job to answer your questions.
O cara faz uma pergunta. Nossa, que bicho, cara.
It's not.
Okay, not your job.
not.
I agree with
I'm
you.
more
It is
interested
not
in
your job.
you, who has family in Gaza, who's an
Não, cara,
Egyptian...
tu quer que ele admita que o Hamas é um grupo terrorista que tem que ser condenado, que tem que ter uma resposta proporcional de Israel e como que deveria ser a resposta. É isso que tu quer saber, né?
in the Middle
tell you
East,
something.
right? I'm more interested in what you have to say.
Okay, I'm telling you. I think Hamas is the problem. Okay.
Right.
Now, let's
Then we're
say
agreed.
Hamas is removed. Let's Hamas. Yeah. I'm agreeing with everything. You want me to condemn Hamas? I will condemn Hamas, Hummus, Hassan, everyone. Guys, so wait. I can't
Mas é o
hear
que ele
you.
falou ali, né? Tipo, remove o Hamas. Beleza, vamos matar todo o Hamas agora. E Israel continua matando gente sem Hamas, que é o que acontece na Cisjordânia.
The earpiece. Damn. Okay.
Quando eu vi isso aí, eu achei que ele tava de
Okay.
sacanagem.
Yeah. Okay. I do
Sorry,
need
I
help.
think
Okay.
just go back. Is he there?
You go back.
Can you
go
hear
back.
me?
Okay. Go. Thank you, guys.
Can you hear Bassem?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Can you hear? Okay.
Yeah.
So Israel. Let's say, for example, Hamas ceased to exist. Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hamas ceased to exist today. Now, right now, in Palestine, in West Bank and Gaza, 20% of Palestinians go through Israeli prison system, whether in
Cara, tem
prison,
criança presa em prisões de Israel. Criança palestina presa.
whether interrogation, whether torture. And the rest of them, they live a life of daily loss of land, of homes, of life, and they are suffocated by this. So let me ask you something. If you are a Palestinian living into these conditions for decades, would you sympathize with your oppressor or sympathize with the people who claim they resist them even if they are terrorists?
I have
Não confunda a reação do oprimido com a violência do opressor.
made no
Leiam
secret
Franz Fanon.
that I think the conditions Palestinians have had to exist under are completely unacceptable. I've said that for years. So the
Então,
question
quer
then
que eles aceitem isso até quando, cara?
becomes, how do you forge peace between two warring parts of that region who, for decades, have approached peace, in my view, with mutual sledgehammers, with no actual desire
Marretas mútuas, né? Ah, cara, de um lado Israel que tem a marreta atômica dos Estados Unidos, literalmente, né? Saiu uma foto, ontem, né? Saiu uma foto do Biden cumprimentando uma força Delta, que é uma força especial, que já está em Israel. E do outro lado tem a Palestina, lutando com um foguete que mostrou os caras tirando encanamento do chão para fabricar foguete. Essas as duas marretas mútuas.
Peace, and I think it comes down in the end to great leadership. And I don't think there's great leadership. I don't think. Well, hang on. Let me make my point. I don't think there's great leadership on either side. Where is the Nelson Mandela figure here?
Nelson Mandela, de novo, vou considerar que esse cara é britânico, né? Nelson Mandela foi preso pelo teu país por 27 anos, cara. 27 anos. E ele só conseguiu chegar onde ele chegou porque ele teve que amansar um pouco o discurso dele, porque senão não ia rolar, né? E se não me engano, até 2008 ele era considerado um terrorista pelos Estados Unidos, acho. Porque normalmente é os Estados Unidos que faz essa lista de terrorista, né? É isso aí. E o Nelson Mandela tá morto.
To come through all this
Nelson Mandela?
Yeah, where is that
Nelson
figure?
Mandela... Nelson Mandela actually have criticized Israel for being a horrible state. All of the South African
I know.
activists have actually
My
called
point is,
Israel.
my point is
yes.
about how he responded to a country that was so divided. Is a
don't know. I
template.
haven't.
Dividido por quem, né, cara?
Is a template for how you get to peace, isn't it?
Não.
I haven't met Nelson Mandela, so I wouldn't know. But like, there's a point. There's a very important point here. You know, I want to understand what is the logic of Israel carpet bombing Gaza.
Claro.
I mean, if there's a logic, if there's a good,
Não tem
if
lógica,
this will
cara.
make Israel
Quer dizer, a
safe,
lógica é matar todo mundo que eles puderem para poder tomar Gaza. É o que eles vão fazer com o norte de Gaza. Por isso que eles mandaram evacuar o norte de Gaza. Porque eles vão matar todo mundo que puder para tomar aquela região e colocar colonizador lá dentro.
I want to hear the logic. So if they continue bombing, what are they hoping to achieve?
Well, I think we know what they're.
É isso aí. Nós vamos parar por aqui porque já está muito longo isso aqui. Quem quiser assistir, assista aí o resto da entrevista, que é muito boa. Mas a lógica é matar o máximo de pessoas que eles puderem para tomar o resto de terra que tem nos palestinos. E esse sempre foi o plano dos caras que criaram esse projeto lá em 1800 e pouco. Sempre foi o plano. Eliminar quem estava naquela terra ali para eles tomarem a terra para eles.